Let's talk about the NFC, though, and the Vikings. They have to go to New Orleans to battle Drew Brees and the Saints. Winning in the Superdome never is easy, especially in the playoffs, and not many believe that the Vikings can do it. Mike Zimmer only cares about the guys in the locker room. Take a look.
I don't think anybody believes that we can win this game. And so, you know, go in there and we slug it out. And all I really care about is if 53 guys believe it. You know, they just had an NFL video of all the playoff teams except us. So we'll just go from there.
Way to give a motivation, guys. He's clearly taking a page out of your recommendation.
Yeah, when we got the playoff field, I said, this is going to be, you know, they're going to be the biggest underdogs in the field. They're going to the Super Bowl. No one thinks they're going to win. And he's referring to a hype video that the NFL put out in which all the playoff teams were featured. There was no Vikings and was it no Eagles whatsoever?
No Eagles. I don't think
no,
Eagles
just not even in it at all. Yeah. And they're taking it and running with it.
Marshawn Lynch is there with the flag, though.
They should. Zim, it's exactly what you should be doing.
I gotta ask our guy Nate Burleson, because I'm thinking back to all the games I've covered in the NFL as a reporter and as a playoff games and all these. A Detroit Lions team sneaks in as a 6th seed, I want to say, a few years back, and they're going into the Superdome on a Saturday night for a playoff game, and no one gave them a shot. Nate, you were on that team. Yep. It ended up being a wild game where Stafford threw for about 5,000 yards.
Right.
But Brees outdid him. What was your mentality going into? Because honestly, no one is going to pick the Vikings. I know how this works on these shows. And Kyle, you're
Fleur-de-lis all across the bottom of the screen.
Yep. No one was picking the Lions that day. What do you say?
There was a certain sense of fear that we had walking into that building. We pull up, we get off the buses, and then you walk in, and it's a little bit of an overwhelming feeling when you have an inexperienced team like the Lions walking in and you're seeing an empty stadium. And already you feel like the fans are right on top of you, and they're not even sitting down yet. We go in, we come out, seats start filling up. And then before you know it, it's kickoff. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, it's a heavyweight bout. They hit us, boom. We hit back, boom, body shot. We go into halftime, and I'm looking at everybody in the locker room. I'm like, we're good. We can beat these guys. We can beat this team, and we can beat this stadium. And then the second half comes. A couple of mistakes, a couple of flags hit the ground, didn't go in our favor. They make a couple of big plays, and before you know it, it's Drew Brees, his team, his defense, and that fan base. Yeah. And before you know it, it felt like every single fan in that stadium was breathing down your neck. It was almost a claustrophobic feeling. And before you knew it, it was out of hand. Fourth quarter comes, and I'm thinking to myself, damn, how did the scoreboard turn into that? So the advice I can give the Minnesota Vikings, you're going to have to battle for 4 quarters. Not Drew Brees, not the team that he's playing with, but also the team of the fan base. And if they can do that, they'll have a great chance of winning this game. But it's going to start with Kirk Cousins not seeing the bright lights. It's going to start with the run game, making sure that they can keep Drew Brees off the field. And it's going to start with them punching not only the team, but also the fans. Because if you can take the breath out of the fan base, yeah, you can take the energy out the room.
Good luck.
Good luck is right. And, you know, I think it's appropriate for the Vikings. My take on this guy, I think Kirk Cousins is going to have to go ballistic. I really do. If you look at, if you want to look at how to beat the Saints, look at the Niners game. All right, Jimmy Garoppolo was great, unstoppable. The Saints have any weakness. Their pass D is not great, and I honestly don't know what the Vikings have in Dalvin yet. I don't have a lot of memory of Kirk Cousins playing the Saints and Drew Brees. So I looked it up. Just out of curiosity, how do you think he's played? Let's take a look. He's played the Saints Brees 3 times.
Nice.
Each time, well over 300, 9 picks, 9 touchdowns, 1 pick.
Well, I'll tell you something. That 2017 game, the Redskins were up the entire game, and the Saints had some crazy comeback in the Superdome and broke his heart and beat him. But Cousins gave it. Cousins was amazing.
But isn't that perfect? Gaudy stats, and Cousins is 1-2 against some losses. I think their best shot is their destiny. I think Kirk Cousins has to launch bombs all day.
How many yards did Stafford throw for in that game?
I'd say 400.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, you may need that.
Here's my thing. I just don't know what's stopping this offense. You can talk about their pass defense.
Nothing.
They're averaging over the past 4 weeks far and away more points than any team in the NFL. 40 points a game. They're dropping 40 on every team in their path. I just don't know how you can stop that. I mean, I'm excited to see, and I'm adding, here's your locker room material. And I love those guys. I'm a big fan of the Vikings. We were there for the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. It's one of the most endearing fan bases in the NFL. I just don't know how you stop them.
Yeah, to Kyle's point, maybe you don't go out there trying to stop it. You just try to outscore it.
Yeah.
It's true. Michael Thomas's coming out really was a game that he had against the Vikings a couple of years ago against Xavier Rhodes, and it was like he looked like a superstar. Nothing stops him. I think you have to win this game like like 42-38. I really do.
I would argue Alvin Kamara's had his coming out party over the past 2 weeks. He had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, they're a
for
juggernaut
them
for
against
sure.
the Panthers a week ago. There just seem to be clicking momentum's in their favor at the right time. It's like the opposite of what's going on with the Patriots.
When we were in London last year, the Sunday night game back in the States was the Saints going into Minnesota. Minnesota was sizzling, and the Saints beat them there too. The Saints are a really good team. You have to be your best on that day to beat them in their building. The Rams had a little help from the officials, maybe. They were that game in the NFC Championship game. The Vikings need to bring it too.
Do you see a world where they're not trying to outscore necessarily, but to just keep this offense sidelined? Are they just going to potentially just use Dalvin to?
You can't do that. I agree with Kyle. Put up points. Put up points. Get into a shootout and see if you can outscore them.
We'll see how it works out. I'm sorry, Zim. We didn't make that clip.
No, listen, we'll call it as we see it. We love you.
We love you. But we didn't make that.
Edit that video.
We didn't make that clip. We apologize for that, Will.
No, it's okay. I'm starting to feel like the Eagles and the Vikings, so this is what I need to motivate me in the morning for sure. Now, it has been well documented, the injuries the Eagles have had to deal with this season. As we enter the postseason, it's more of the same. Running back Miles Sanders dealing with an ankle injury and is considered day-to-day. Now, the news not as good for guard Brandon Brooks. He's out for the playoffs as he suffered a dislocated shoulder blocking on a PAT in the win over the Giants. Brooks was named to his 3rd straight Pro Bowl this season. As for Philly's opponent on Sunday, the Seahawks losing linebacker Michael Kendricks, who had torn ACL, suffered in the loss to the 49ers. Kendricks missing 2 games earlier this season with a hamstring injury, but had 3 sacks and an interception in 14 starts. The Patriots playing on Wild Card Weekend, as we know, for the first time in nearly a decade as they face the Titans. Head coach Mike Vrabel, of course, played for New England and coached under Bill Belichick, winning 3 Super Bowl titles. But he wants to make it clear this game is not about him. It's about the Titans and Patriots.
I'm not going to be out there trying to pass rush Tom. This is about the players and the preparation. This isn't about my career, my 8 years in New England. This is about the Titans and our preparation to go up there and, face a team that's won 3 Super Bowls in the last 5 years. They're 8-0 at home in that span. They got the #1 defense. They got the best coach, got the best quarterback. So it's quite a challenge.
Now, Vrabel did lead his Titans to a 34-10 win over Belichick and the Patriots last season, so we'll have to see if he can do it again when it matters most. Of course, he called it the Viper's Den, and this potentially could be a Quentin Tarantino movie where it's from dusk till dawn, where we're having the Gecko brothers, Razor Charlie, this full-blown Tarantino.
The boys aren't here, but yes, I haven't seen the movie, but I know what you're talking about. I'm going to get killed for not have seen that movie. George Clooney, is he in that?
That's okay.
Is that right?
It's okay. Yeah, George Clooney's in
who
there.
Else is in that?
Tarantino,
Salma Hayek?
Harvey Keitel. Yeah, Salma Hayek's also in that as well. Look at you. Okay, redeeming yourself. I like it.
I think I've seen the commercials. I remember, or I'm thinking about this game on Sunday. It's even bigger than people might think. Tom Brady, if they win or lose, I mean, this is their last game in Foxborough. So who knows how much longer we will see Tom Brady wearing that Patriots 12 jersey. Something to consider in throwing your support behind the GOAT. Thank you so much, Will.
Absolutely.
Special moment here on the show right now. Time to reveal your Week 17 Players of the Week, the regular season finale. Let's kick it off here in the NFC. Boston Scott. This is the best storyline, maybe of the NFL season. He came to play, 3 rushing touchdowns. Unbelievable. Gets them into the mix, and they get to, of course, welcome the Seahawks to town. Deion Jones takes it. Obviously, an incredible defensive player. They're right there. And then let's move it along to Johnny Hecker, who, of course, had 4 punts. He is always doing his thing. Over in the AFC on offense, the honor goes to Derek Henry. He takes the